Good evening, friends, fiends, and night owl supremes. Welcome to A Bit Late. Tonight, boy oh boy, do I have a weird fairy tale, of course, of comeuppance and mystical lights that are blue, obviously. But this story is quite delightful, and I can't wait to share it with you. So, do get comfy, get cozy, settle into a blanket fort of sorts with your animal familiars around you, coffee, tea, cocoa, and a candle, too, if you need that. Maybe it'll be a blue candle. That would be very on point with tonight's story, which is, as it were, collected by the Brothers Grimm. So, get ready and follow me in for tonight's story, The Blue Light. There was once upon a time a soldier who for many years had served the king faithfully. But when the war came to an end, he could serve no longer because of the many wounds he had received. Which makes sense, also the war is over, so why would you need to serve? The king said to him, "You may return to your home. I need you no longer, and you will not receive any more money, for he only receives wages who renders me service for them." That's quite harsh, I feel. Ow? Then the soldier did not know how to earn a living, went away greatly troubled, and walked the whole day until in the evening he entered a forest. When darkness came on, he saw a light which he went up to, and came to a house wherein lived a witch. Ooh, nice. "Do give me one night's lodging and a little to eat and drink," he said to her, "or I shall starve." "Oh ho," she answered, "who gives anything to a runaway soldier? Yet I will be compassionate and take you in, if you do what I wish." But he's not a runaway soldier. He was dismissed from battle because the war is over. Didn't want to run away. Anyway, "What do you wish?" said the soldier. "Ah, nice. Not agreeing to anything that you don't know. Good call, soldier." "That you should dig up all around my garden for me tomorrow." The soldier consented, and the next day labored with all his strength, but could not finish it by the evening. "I see well enough," said the witch, "that you can do no more today, but I will keep you yet another night, in payment for which you must tomorrow chop me a load of wood, and chop it small." The soldier spent the whole day in doing it, and in the evening the witch proposed that he should stay one more night. "Tomorrow you shall only do me a very trifling piece of work. Behind my house there is an old dry well into which my light has fallen. It burns blue and never goes out, and you shall bring it up again." Next day the old woman took him to the well and let him down in a basket. He found the blue light and made her a signal to draw him up again. She did draw him up, but when he came near to the edge, she stretched down her hand and wanted to take the blue light away from him. "No," said he, perceiving her evil intention. "I will not give you the light until I am standing with both feet upon the ground." "Good for you, sir." The witch fell into a passion, let him fall again into the well, and went away. So her blue light is not worth having him outside of the well to her. It must not be that valuable. There's only a whole story written about it. The poor soldier fell without injury onto the moist ground, and the blue light went on burning. But of what use was that to him? He saw very well that he could not escape death. He sat for a while, very sorrowfully, then suddenly felt in his pocket and found his tobacco pipe, which was still half full. "Oh, what an optimist, I do like him. This shall be my last pleasure," thought he, pulled it out, lit it at the blue light, and began to smoke. And do use caution if you smoke, obviously. Know the risks and such. Cool. When the smoke had circled about the cavern, suddenly a little dwarf stood before him and said, "Lord, what are your commands?" "What my commands are?" replied the soldier, quite astonished. "I must do everything you bid me," said the little man. "Good," said the soldier. "Then in the first place help me out of this well." The little man took him by the hand and led him through an underground passage, but he did not forget to take the blue light with him. Oh, nice. On the way, the dwarf showed him the treasures which the witch had collected and hidden there, and the soldier took as much gold as he could carry. When he was above, he said to the little man, "Now go and bind the old witch and carry her before the judge." In a short time she came by like the wind, riding on a wild tomcat and screaming frightfully. Nor was it long before the little man reappeared. "It is all done," he said. "The witch is already hanging on the gallows." Oh man, really? What further commands has my lord? Inquired the dwarf. At this moment, none, answered the soldier. You can return home, only be at hand immediately if I summon you. Nothing more is needed than you should light your pipe at the blue light, and I will appear before you at once. Thereupon he vanished from his sight. What a twist! The soldier's now giving commands. The soldier returned to the town from which he came. He went to the best inn, ordered himself handsome clothes, then bade the landlord furnish a room as handsome as possible. When it was ready and the soldier had taken possession of it, he summoned the little mannequin and said, I have served the king faithfully, but he has dismissed me and left me to hunger, and now I want to take my revenge. Ooh, this is like a Count of Monte Cristo thing. What am I to do? Asked the little man. Late at night, when the king's daughter is in bed, bring her here in her sleep. What? Oh, she shall do servant's work for me. Oh, okay. That could have gotten bad. The mannequin said, That is an easy thing for me to do, but a very dangerous thing for you. If it is discovered, you will fare ill. When 12 o'clock had struck, the door sprang open and the mannequin carried in the princess. Aha! Are you there? Cried the soldier. Get to work at once. Fetch the broom and sweep the chamber. I mean, it's a new chamber. It's probably not that dirty. When she had done this, he ordered her to come to his chair, and then he stretched out his feet and said, Pull off my boots, and then he threw them in her face and made her pick them up again and clean and brighten them. She, however, did everything he bade her without opposition, silently and with half-shut eyes. When the first cock crowed, the mannequin carried her back to the royal palace and laid her in her bed. I feel like this is not punishing the king at all. I mean, maybe a little ego-y, but it's not really. Next morning, when the princess arose, she went to her father and told him that she had had a very strange dream. I was carried through the streets with the rapidity of lightning, said she, and taken into a soldier's room. And I had to wait upon him like a servant, sweep his room, clean his boots, and do all kinds of menial work. It was only a dream, and yet I am just as tired as if I really had done everything. But how did she know it was a soldier's room if he had new clothes made? Maybe they're not ready yet. Anyway, the dream may have been true, said the king. Wow, that was quick to believe. Cool. I will give you a piece of advice. Fill your pockets full of peas and make a small hole in the pocket, and then if you are carried away again, they will fall out and leave a track in the streets. So clearly this plan is not upsetting the king. He's just like, yeah, go be bait again. If it really is true, we'll find you. Don't worry, use these peas that don't roll at all and certainly will give us a straight path to you, because no one eats peas. It's not like they're breadcrumbs. They're not food. They are food. But okay. But unseen by the king, the mannequin was standing beside him when he said that and heard all. At night, when the sleeping princess was again carried through the street, some peas certainly did fall out of her pocket, but they made no track, for the crafty mannequin had just before scattered peas in every street there was. And again the princess was compelled to do the servant's work until cock-crow. Next morning the king sent his people to seek the track, but it was all in vain, for in every street poor children were sitting picking up peas and saying, It must have rained peas last night. It's a rain. No, never mind, we're not singing that one. That could be weird. We must think of something else, said the king. We must think of something else, said the king. Keep your shoes on when you go to bed, and before you come back from the place where you were taken, hide one of them there. I will soon contrive to find it. I feel like this is backwards. Hide a shoe in a place where we don't know where it is, and then we'll go looking for it in a place where we don't know where it is. It's not like they have like a beacon or a Find My Shoe app for that. Or maybe it's enchanted though. Can't dispel that theory. The mannequin heard this plot, and at night when the soldier again ordered him to bring the princess, revealed it to him and told him that he knew of no expedient to counteract this stratagem. Really? It seems like a terrible stratagem. And that if the shoe were found in the soldier's house, it would go badly with him. So put it outside. Do what I bid you, replied the soldier, and again this third night the princess was obliged to do work like a servant. But before she went away, she hid her shoe under the bed. Next morning, the king had the entire town searched for his daughter's shoe. There could have been a much better distribution of resources, but here we are. It was found at the soldiers, and the soldier himself, who at the entreaty of the dwarf had gone outside the gates, was soon brought back and thrown into prison. Someone could have planted it there. I mean, we know that's not the case, but actually they did because it was the princess who literally planted it there. Anyway, in his flight, he had forgotten the most valuable things he had, the blue lights and the gold, and only had 1 ducat in his pocket. And now loaded with chains, he was standing at the window of his dungeon when he chanced to see one of his comrades passing by. The soldier tapped at the pane of glass when this man came up, said to him, "Be so kind as to fetch me the small bundle I have left lying in the inn, and I will give you a ducat for doing it." His comrade ran thither and brought him what he wanted. As soon as the soldier was alone again, he lighted his pipe and summoned the mannikin. "Have no fear," said the latter to his master. "Go wheresoever they take you, and let them do what they will. Only take the blue light with you." Next day, the soldier was tried, and though he had done nothing wicked, really, the judge condemned him to death. I mean, he kind of kidnapped a princess. That's quite wicked, and had her do work, and I mean, I'm eye-rolling too now, which you can't hear, because eye rolls are quiet. Read between the lines, I don't know, maybe? Maybe he just had her work though. Anyway, the soldier feels he is wrongly condemned to death. When he was led forth to die, he begged a last favor of the king. "What is it?" asked the king. "That I may smoke 1 more pipe on my way." "You may smoke 3, answered the king, "but do not imagine that I will spare your life." Then the soldier pulled out his pipe and lighted it at the blue lights, which, how does he keep that hidden and how does no one see it all the time? Wouldn't it burn the container it was in? No one asks, no one questions, "Oh, that's a weird blue light that you're smoking with." And as soon as a few wreaths of smoke had ascended, the mannikin was there with a small cudgel in his hand and said, "What does my lord command?" "Strike down to earth that false judge there and his constable, and spare not the king who has treated me so ill." What? So the judge that condemned him to death for kidnapping a princess and the person holding him hostage or prisoner, rightly so maybe, I don't know, and the king are gonna die. Oh, I don't know. I don't like him anymore. I liked him before when he was like an optimist. "Oh, I have a bag half full." I don't really like him anymore. So then the mannikin fell on them like lightning, darting this way and that way, and whosoever was so much as touched by his cudgel fell to the earth and did not venture to stir again. The king himself was terrified. He threw himself on the soldier's mercy and merely to be allowed to live at all, and gave him the kingdom for his own and his daughter to wife. Oh, the end. And the moral of that story is, I don't know. What goes around comes around. It's not a particularly happy story, because I feel like the soldier maybe wasn't that great of a guy. I don't think the blue light corrupted him, or, ooh, here's a thought, maybe it did, because the witch was gonna switch him and basically let him starve in a well for the light, and he left quite a bloody trail too, and wasn't exactly kind when he had power to do anything. He was rather mean. So if you find a blue light, use it for good, I guess. But I do hope you enjoyed the tale and that you're having a wonderful evening. Things have been going pretty good here, and they're even better now that I got to share a story with you. Now off to sleep and dream what you will, or stay a while and enjoy another tale. Whichever you choose, I'll speak to you again, and until then, stay spooky, my friends. Good night.